Hey, it's Abigail. Welcome to my channel. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you get notified every time I post a new video. So I'm going to make this quick so that way you can get on and keep watching this video, but I am going to aim for 30 subscribers by September 1st. So if you haven't subscribed yet and you're watching this video, please do me that favor and subscribe. Also, share this video with others so that way they may come and see as well, and they can watch it and subscribe as well. So please do me that favor, and thank you so much. Now let's get on with the video. One last thing that I wanted to mention was that I am now discoverable on YouTube. So if you search Abigail's Writing, or AW for short, then it should pull up my channel, so that way you're able to just do that instead of clicking on a link to follow every time. So today I'm going to be walking you through the steps that I take to create a character that's very captivating to my reader. The first thing I will do is I will match my characters to my theme. So for instance, if I have a medieval castle theme, then I'm going to choose queens, kings, knights along that line. That way my theme and my characters can come together and be in the same general order, and that way they can just be grouped together super easily and flow together nicely. So for your character name, you want to really think about what it sounds like. It's really crazy how it works, but you could go try it right now. You take your character and you put a name with it, then you switch the name and try a different one. It's going to change the sound of your character. It's going to make you think differently about your character. It's crazy how it works. I'm not even sure why it works, but it just does. So that is something that I find super important, where you need to think about how you want your person to sound. And if you want them to sound one way, you might want to choose a different name if they don't sound that way. You can go through a bunch of different names until you're finally satisfied with how you like it to sound, but sometimes you won't find a nice name like that, so you have to kind of create one. Creating one can create your own uniqueness to your character, and it'll just add things to it. But if you don't want to create your own name, that's fine. There are thousands and bunch of names out there where you don't need to worry about having to create a name for each character on your own. You can just Google search good names for people, and they will have some pretty cool names. I've used several of them because they're so cool, and I'm like, I never thought about this name, and it works really well in my story. So I won't start with 10 main characters, because that is just a lot of people to control, and to be able to get the reader to really understand their character and their personality, and for you as a writer to develop them. It's a lot harder when you have so many main characters. Now, I'm not saying that as the story goes along you can't add characters. I do that all the time. I will add a character here, add a character there, but there'll be side characters as I'm going along with the story. That way I don't have to control everybody at the same time. Because if you imagine like a puppeteer puppeting all the puppets and moving their strings, you're that character for all those. All the puppets are your characters in your story. So since you are the person controlling all the puppets, you have to decide how many hands you have to hold all the characters. That is something that I just came up with at the top of my head, so it's probably a terrible analogy, but I just thought that I'd mention that because that is just the picture that came into my mind when I was describing that. So I also want to mention that a character name list can be something that is really helpful if you're going to go for long-term writing. If you're not going to go for long-term writing, then I wouldn't recommend taking the time to do this, but if you are, then I highly would recommend it because it's really helpful. If you take a piece of paper, if you're writing in a book, then you can take a piece of paper, or if you're writing on spreadsheets or anything that's using the computer, if you're writing something on there, then just open a new page, and if you write down your character name, if you want, you can put their age, their top personality trait, or their the language they speak if you want them to like be foreign or something like that. You can put all sorts of details about them and then leave it for later. And say in a year you want more characters, so you go back to that page and you already have a bunch of characters written out that you can just pick one and put it in that book. So you can just use it from then on. So if you make it now, you can use it way in the future, and you can also use it now as well if you wanted to pick some names from there. It'll just help you to get more creative, and if you see the other names, then you can choose one of the names that you already have if you like that better or like that character better. Thank you for watching, and if you haven't already checked out the other two videos, please make sure to do that. Have a great day.